police officer and the police officer with a canine.
Okay, so now we're ready to progress. We've done some field, we did evaluation, some field work, introduced some stressors on the field. Now we're going to start picking up our pace. We're going to move into structures, confined spaces, low light, all those things that can occur in the environment that we have no control over. We'll start introducing those types of aspects into our training cycle. So as we develop the dog, we take one or two steps forward. We may potentially have to take one step back, but that's okay, because at this point we've done everything right. We've identified any issues during the evaluation process, during the development process on the field, that we may potentially confront as we start introducing new stressors and new environmental stimuli. So what we're going to do for this, how I set this up is, Dan is going to come in through this entrance. The decoy is going to be set up. Inside, well, we're going to do the initial bite right here. So as it comes in, the environments that we're going to be dealing with are entering the hallway. The second variable, or environmental stressor we're going to deal with, is taking the bite and moving them inside this confined area. So the entire time, Casey's going to be making a determination on how intense he needs to be because of this environment. He may start off with some prey, get him on the grip, stay in prey, and then move him in. We don't know yet. It's going to be very reactive to how the dog is responding and acting. So the whole condition here that we want the dog to inoculate himself to is taking the bite, moving through something very unknown, very unfamiliar, into a darker enclosed area. And then as he's in there, again, Casey will make the determination of how intense he is while he's inside this confined space. Okay? So let's go ahead and pull. Okay, go ahead, extract. There's two things that we saw there. One, he went in there, he committed to it, but man, he was really struggling to get that decoy out of there. So you start seeing these things happen and you start pushing the ball. That stress, he's working through the stress, but you do not want to go there. He offered up a lot of resistance on you. You wanted to drag him out of there, which is fine, but we want to push him. We want to push that pressure and that stress and get him out of there to come up. Okay? He goes in.
That's a good boy. Good boy.
Good. Go ahead. Alright, decoy, step out. Police officer, I want you to just give him a bite right there. I want you to make it fun for him. No pressure, no pressure. Just kind of loose, nice bite. Good, make it fun, make it fun. Good, good.
That's a good boy.
Good. This is another aspect of like your reward variable. So you let him work through that. Sometimes you want to finish off with a real nice positive bite. Okay? No pressure, just a nice fun bite. Good. Can you step out of that? Can you step out of it? Again, the dog wins. At the end of the day, the dog wins.
Ooh, good. Good man.
All these things hold value to the dog. Let him take it. Let him carry it out. Let him carry it out if he wants to. Dog prances out. That is just setting him up for his next iteration. I win. I had fun. I dealt with the stress. I worked through it. I controlled it, and now I win and walk away. Success at the end of the day. So gentlemen, this is where we're at this point. We want to start introducing more types of environmental stimulus. When we look at how we introduce this stuff, you're limited to your imagination, honestly. You need to think outside the box, look at different types of surfaces, conditions, going from light to low light. Anything that's gonna provide that variable that's gonna be able to test your dog and get them to that next level. Again, we're talking about development. So at any one point or at any time that the decoy is engaged with the dog, he can digress very quickly and go back into training mode. If he sees the dog failing at any point, then we go back to training mode. It goes from developing, exposing, stress, and at any point he can bring it down a couple notches, go from 95% to like 50% very quickly. So we're not focusing on tactics, we're not focusing on, again, no control, it's all development. What we're focusing on is exposing that dog to those conditions. What we're going to do is, canine officer's going to set up out there. Casey's going to be in here. He's going to apply pressure. He's going to bite at the exterior of this enclosed closet. And wherever his momentum takes him, the dog's on the bite, he's going to bring him in one side, all the way through, come out the other side. All right, so that's a lot of things going on in the environment that the dog's going to have to be able to handle. Everything's going to be dependent on Casey. So again, Cameron, just take your cues from Casey. Casey, if something goes south, just make sure you let Cameron know. Obviously, we know that Kino is a very intense dog, so we can really start putting a lot of pressure on him at this point. What are we doing? At the end of the day, we're educating the handler, we're educating the decoy on where we can add more to the situation, where we maybe need to pull back a little bit more from the situation to develop him again where he needs to be. All right, so go ahead and set up. So basically, from that piece right there, we kind of changed it up a little bit. Reason being is I wanted to kind of capitalize on that specific iteration. And dog came in very strong, handled the stress, took him through, pretty vocal, intense. Okay, great, got it. Now let's kind of flip the script a little bit. Let's go if a suspect is passive. Obviously, he's going to go off based of what just happened, which is fine. Totally fine, because that builds it up for later. You can do that with just about any dog. You can come in, present the decoy. Decoy knows what his target is. There's the agitation, all those things. So he knows that a bite is somewhere is going to happen. Okay, so but you can capitalize on that by just flipping and say, okay, no, passive suspect, aggressive suspect, bite. When I tell you to bite, you know what you're doing. So that's what we got out of that session right there.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh my god. Oh my god. He's out. I'm shot. I got cover on him. Please! I ain't going back, man. Get him off me! Get him off me, please!
Stop moving! Stop by my dog!
Get him off me!
Let me see your head! Roll over! Let me see your head! Roll over! Oh, release the dog again!
Alright, so now at this point, we're getting to the run phase. And like I discussed before, we gotta cover the entire spectrum of what we're gonna be dealing with on the street. Everything from passive suspect to intense adversary, somebody who's gonna confront you, stand their ground, come back and fight with you. When we're dealing with the passive suspect, now we've kind of changed the adultery condition that he's going to bite, and even throughout this day, we can look at, all right, well, the dog knows that already, so we're going to capitalize on that. We're going to put him in a passive situation so that we set him up for success. So this was a perfect demonstration of how everything we were doing before is segues into going into a passive situation. So, okay, suspect, he's, we created barriers, so the stressor here is, again, nothing he hasn't seen, confined space, low light. Now we presented a little bit of a barrier, another barrier. He's covered up, and there's no pressure. There's no pressure at the entrance. There's no pressure. There's no agitation. There's no stimulation. He has to go, locate, and bite. And that's exactly what we got here, is a perfect scenario which we capitalized on what we did in the prior exercises. Took him into a situation to where he went in, located, and bit without any sort of verbal stimulation from the decoy or physical stimulation. He didn't move, he didn't say anything, he went in, did his job, and that's what we want. And handled it. When you guys went in, interacted with them, controlled the suspect, extracted them, and at the end of the day, what do? We go home alive.
All right, guys, to recap what we went over today, we went